Okay, so here it is, here in this mountaintop, Las Tres Cruces, and I want to share with you about my ayahuasca experience. And this is something very personal, and I will tell you that ayahuasca is no joke. If you plan on taking ayahuasca, make sure that you go in there prepared. If you go in there like disrespectful or flagrant, and just disrespectful to the people, the culture, the religion, you are going to be in a world of pain. Ayahuasca is basically a plant derivative that comes from a plant here in Colombia. It's located primarily in South America, and I don't think it's, and probably in some parts of North America, but primarily in the Americas. And it's a hallucinogenic drug, which once ingested, after about a half an hour, you'll vomit. And when you vomit somehow it combines with your blood and your chemicals and everything, and you'll have a religious experience, to say the least. So what happened in my situation is I went to a general ceremony. I did not go do a full-blown ayahuasca ceremony. And the general ceremony is in Antioquia, here in Medellin, Colombia. And it's only one night, and that's it. You can come back the next day if you like, and that's pretty much it. Now, I went to a place called Ceiba, all right? And I can put the contact information on the description here. And it cost me about $30, okay? And I had to bring my own food, my own bedding. They don't give you anything. And that's just what it is. Now, he did have another retreat, he called it. That's about $800 and that lasts about, I think, 5 days, anywhere from 3 to 5 days. I'm not really too sure because I didn't do that. I just wanted to get familiar with it. And prior to going out there, I actually kind of felt like a connection, like something was going to happen in here in the spiritual realm. And I kind of felt that I needed to be doing some things, cleaning out some things. One of the things was an ex-girlfriend that I had kept around because I didn't really want to. I don't like sleeping. I didn't like being alone at the time, and I kind of liked her company, and we were friends with benefits, that kind of thing. So the ayahuasca was trying to tell me to let her go, that she was a distraction, and I didn't listen. So I ended up, to make a long story short, I ended up taking her with me to the ceremony and having her participate. So I went to the ceremony, and I did do a very small fast. It was basically, I ate primarily fish and chicken that day. I kind of stayed away from red meat at the advice of Keenan, who is one of the people who runs the Ayahuasca Center. He's actually the picture you see in the thumbnail. And what happened was, they gave you a briefing before you start. You meet with the Taita, also called the shaman, and they have a different name. They don't call it shaman, they call it a Taita. So it's spelled a little bit differently. And he doesn't speak any English, so Keenan, he just translated some of the stuff. I kind of wish he would have translated a little bit more, but there were a lot of people there, and he was kind of caught up in the moment, which I understand. But the main thing he wanted me to understand was to, number one, go in there with an expectation. You have to kind of go in there with a problem that you're trying to solve, a question that you're trying to solve, and you have to be open for the answer. So you have to prepare yourself spiritually and mentally for the answer. And so that was one of the things that I had to do. And but what I basically did was I just went ahead and wanted to experience it. I wanted to experience what it was going to be like. So I just really didn't have much of an expectation other than I knew something big was going to happen in the spiritual realm. And so I went over there, and I again, it was raining that day, and prior to us getting to the location, we were at the city near to it that we were going to take the final taxi, because we took a bus there and then we are going to take a taxi there. You have to arrive at 9 o'clock at night. And it was raining that night. And when we were at the town close by, a lightning struck right next to where I was. I mean, it was like the lightning strike was so close. It struck a telephone pole. It was so close, I could literally see the flash. And I was like, damn, is this a sign that I'm not supposed to be going to this? And I was a little bit apprehensive. And then once we got to the location, Google Maps said it was like a 5-minute walk. So I said, well, shit, I'll walk 5 minutes. We don't need to take a taxi. So I told the taxi driver, just drop us off near the entrance. We'll walk the rest of the way. Little did I know, that entrance, where the Google Maps said it was, that was just the entrance. And it was another half a mile walk. And I had luggage. So I had to carry this luggage in the rain while it was raining for a half a mile, which sucked. And then I also had to carry my lady friend who was with me, because she didn't have the proper shoes on, and I had like these waterproof shoes, and I had to carry her, so I didn't want her carrying her going in the mud stream. So anyway, so we got there late at night. It sucked. She was freaking out. It was dark. It was no lights, so she had to talk to her to get her calmed down, and it was distracting. And so we'll fast forward to the actual time of the ceremony. All the newbies go first, and they tell you if you need help, you can just call for help and that kind of thing. And so what ended up happening was, my name was called. They called the girls first, and then they called the guys. For some strange reason, I don't know why, she called me first. Not only did she call me first, because I thought there was a mistake, she called me twice. She said, Gerald. She said twice. I said, oh shit. I said, here we go. So I took it, and I kind of tried to taste it so I could remember the taste to tell you guys. And it kind of tastes like really, really awful cough syrup. It's not something pleasant. It's not enjoyable. It's not something you would drink as a beverage at all. I wish that dog would shut up. It's not a beverage you would drink for leisure at all. It doesn't taste good. Anyway, so I didn't feel anything at first. As soon as I swallowed it, it went down in my stomach, nothing happened. And they said, try to hold it down for at least 30 minutes. So I was like, I felt a little bit nauseated after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but then I just started calm. And they believe, the Taita explained to us, he said that it's limping, it's cleaning out all the bad things that are in your gut and everything, and all the cancer and all that stuff, all the diseases, all the germs, all that stuff is just it's cleaning in the inside. So that's what it's doing. That's the reason you want to hold down the ayahuasca and try to like not vomit as long as you can. And so I timed it. So anyway, at 25 minutes, I felt like I was going to throw up. And then at 28 minutes, boom, it hit me. Like it comes up like you cannot stop it. There is no control. It comes up immediately, like boom, you're in. And so what happens is, because you'll fast before you get over there, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want, but hopefully you'll have no food in your stomach and you'll dry heave, which means you'll try to vomit, but nothing's coming out. Now, when that happens, like it'll feel really upsetting. It doesn't feel good. I didn't like that experience. And so then all of a sudden you're like, boom, it's almost like a bing. You know when a bell rings, boom, and your ears are ringing? That's kind of how it feels. And then you close your eyes and you just see all these like flashing, like your whole body's like pulsating, and you see this light. So I was up against the wall. I had to sit down up against the wall because I didn't want to feel completely, and I didn't want to lie down completely because I was vomiting and I didn't want to have to get up to vomit. I just didn't want to extend my stomach. Anyway, so what happened was I started dry heaving, and then I got into like, I saw these colors and lights and flashes, and all of a sudden I saw like the universe. I was outside in the universe, like the Milky Way, and I was floating up above, and I saw like a top, like a spiral just going down, like a spiral, like a top that you would spin, and it was going down further and further and further into a long string of light, and that light was going down into the Milky Way. So it was just spinning and spinning and spinning and just going down, and I was looking above it, and then all of a sudden I saw this. That dog is so annoying. But I saw the string, and I came into the string. And as I was coming into the string, I could see like visions and lights, but I couldn't see the whole thing because for some reason, like there was something blocking it. But it was almost like if you ever put your face in a waterfall, or you ever have water hit your face, and it's hitting your face and you're seeing the side of it. That's kind of like how it felt. And so what happened was I started seeing all these like visions, and one of the visions was I was flying as a dragon, and I was flying, and all of a sudden I saw this like something in front of me, like a piece of meat or something, and then I ate it, and I just became like a full dragon, and all of a sudden I felt like this immense strength of power like going in me, like I'm talking about my whole body just shook, just boom, right against the wall, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like this, and I couldn't move. And mind you, there's nobody around, right? There's not anybody around, and what happens is you can hear the music playing. They're playing the music, and that music gets you into the mood, it gets you into the spiritual realm. And they're going around like shaking, like they're shaking these rattlers, and as like these rattlers shake, like boom, it'll hit you. And like there's nothing that happened in that situation to where I felt like I was out of control. I could have stopped at any moment. If I would have stopped it, if I would have just boom, just like mentally just say no, and just forcefully just boom, just no, just don't go with it. It would have stopped. The whole experience would have stopped. But I kind of wanted to go with the flow. I wanted to go with the way everything was flowing, and I wanted to see where it was I wanted to experience it and where it was taking me to. So that's kind of like how I felt and my experiences. There's a lots of things. I mean, one of the things that I had to learn about was to let go of my pride. Like I could literally feel like a hand reaching into my heart and bang, just pulling the pride out. And when it was pulling the pride out, it was like pulling it, and like it was like strings attached to it. And the ayahuasca had told me that you have been holding on to this pride so long, you wear it like your armor, and it's a part of who you are. Because I have done a lot of things in my life that I'm pretty proud of, that haven't been fucking easy. And ayahuasca had told me that, yeah, you can be proud and you can know who you are, but you don't have to have pride, and you don't have to be better than anybody else. You can still have a spirit of humility. And so that was another thing that I had learned about that in the ayahuasca that had showed me. And I'm trying to get away from this music here for a sec. This guy's got his music loud. So anyway, so that's one of the things. A second thing was my will. I could will my own destiny, the destiny that I had wanted in my life. And the third thing was to remember who I am, not to forget who I was, that I was the dragon. And like this had gone on. I'm paraphrasing. This is a very deep religious experience. It's kind of hard to share everything in just a few minutes. But the main thing was, like, it was something that had helped me to become a better version of myself, and something that will guide you towards enlightenment if you're trying to trying to self-improve and trying to break free from addiction and from things that have been going around in circles and you just can't. And ayahuasca is a spirit. I mean, you can think what you want, but it's like if you and I are talking, you'll have your own response, independently of me, and I'm not going to be able to guess what your answer is because you're a different person. It's just like the ayahuasca. If you are not open and you don't want to be open, you don't want to do this, and this is something against your religion and everything like that, then don't turn this off. This is not for you. But if you're something that you want to explore something new and use something new that's going to help you, then ayahuasca is something you might want to consider. Again, make sure that wherever you go, if you try ayahuasca, make sure that you go to a place that's vetted. And when I say vetted, it means a place where you know that you're not going to a shaman that's going to try to rob your energy, because there's some fake shamans out there. There's some people that are doing it just for money and that are trying to steal your energy, and their intention is not to help you. Their intention is to steal from you or to get what they can from you. It's very important that you're around a good energy, because I'll tell you this right now, and I'm not fucking kidding. I went to hell and I died. I died like 4 times. I went to a very, very dark place. And I think what happens is someone was telling me that that's the death of your ego, and that the ego has to die in order for you to become a better version of you. And that kind of makes sense, but damn, man, it was like, I did not want to do it. I'll tell you, my experience was so strong and it was so powerful about hell that I had said, I'm never going to do this ayahuasca again, man. It was fucking crazy. One time I got eaten. I was eaten by a dragon one time. I was eaten by like a squid, a huge giant squid, and I could feel like going in its stomach, and I was like in there and just floating I was being like digested. So I was being a part of that body. And then there was another part where I got stabbed and I got pushed up against a cave and I got slammed. I was stabbed like with a spear, and I went up and I was like, ah! It felt so real. My whole body shook. I thought I was dead, literally. And then I came back in my body. I mean, it was it felt like it probably was an out-of-body experience. I've been through like spiritual things. Like I've been to, I can feel things. I'm very sensitive to certain people and certain energies. So I don't know if that was an advantage. There's a lot of people who take ayahuasca for the first time and never feel anything. I think that's because they don't come into it with an open heart and open mind. I think they come to it with their preconceived notion. Like, for example, there were like some girls that were sleeping next to us that were just on their phone half the time. And then they were laughing and giggling, and you know, they were not serious about it. And it was distracting to me. It was affecting my energy. So if I was like shaking, and let me tell you, uncontrollable shaking. Like my one hand was shaking like this, like nonstop. Like it was crazy. So there was a time that during the ceremony, okay? Now this ceremony went on for all night. It started like at midnight and it ended like at 6 a.m. So you're talking about a couple of hours, and on this trip, you're on a friggin' journey. And it was, you can't even talk. It's so powerful, the encounter, the trip that you're going on. You're going on a trip to a different dimension. And you're seeing stars, you're seeing lights, and the thing is, ayahuasca, it's not just you're going on a I never really did drugs and cocaine and marijuana. I smoke weed, but I don't see anything wrong with it. But I use the vapor, and I use it just to kind of relax. It's almost like having a cocktail. Instead of having a drink of alcohol, I'll smoke a little weed just to kind of relax if I want to for the evening. So I'm not a big time drug user. So if to describe it compared to mushrooms or cocaine or anything like that, It's not like that, because ayahuasca is more like an entity. It is more like something that guides you in your life, that drums up things of your past, that says, this is why this happened, this is why this happened, and gives you the answers that you've been seeking for. Okay, so I had come with some answers, and there are some things, and like I said, I did the general ceremony. I didn't do the full-blown ceremony. I'm going to do it again and discover more about myself. But as you learn more, and as you do more experience with ayahuasca, you'll begin to see more things and discover more things about yourself. It is what really made me change my mind about ayahuasca and said, okay, I need to do this again and maybe see what's going on, what this thing is really about, is the music. The music brought me back. The music is like so beautiful, so powerful. And I'm not talking about music that you hear like a really good song. I'm talking about music on a spiritual level. When you hear music and your whole soul starts dancing and you dance with your soul, it's different than dancing when you hear a music that's a good sound. And the feeling that you get is a euphoric feeling. You definitely get a euphoric feeling. And you know that this is not you can tell that this is an entity to harm you, destroy you. This is not something that's meant to harm you or destroy you. It's something that's meant to help you discover about yourself through nature. There was an experience, there was a situation to where I saw a vision of a bug going into like the plants, and it stung me. And I was just looking at it, I was like, wow. And it stung me, and then of course I went back into my psychedelic journey. Lots of lights. I mostly saw lots of reds. Red was the main color. And I was trying not to see red. I was trying to see whites and blues and yellows. Those are the colors I wanted. Those are the colors that kept me safe. But I guess a part of me had to die. I felt like I was uploaded with a new language and I didn't understand what the language was. And I tried to. So afterwards, we would go by the fireplace and we'd kind of talk about our experience. So I would kind of ask some of the people, I said, what does this all mean? Where do I kind of unpack this and kind of understand what happened to me? And they were like, you have to discover those answers within yourself. There's no one that can tell you. You have to discover it within you. Which I thought was a really kind of a cool answer, because like I didn't know, because they could have easily said, well, then you need to pay some money and you need to talk to this guy. And that could have been an opportunity for them to kind of, take advantage of me because I was vulnerable, but they didn't. They kind of just said, you have to discover that within yourself. There was no pressure. There's no pressure there. So this month is my last month in Colombia for 2022. I'll be back next year. And I want to know the rest. I want to read what the next chapter is. They said that a lot of people that I've talked to that have done this have told me that I've experienced the worst part, which, damn, man, I've heard that it could get worse. I don't want to do that, but it can. Part of it is cleaning your spirit too. You gotta have a clean soul with ayahuasca. That means no sex with multiple people. That means you have to fast. That means you need to clean yourself and get yourself spiritually ready, which goes in line with a lot of religions out there. Eastern religions, Christian religions, Muslim religions, talks about purity and talks about cleanliness of the soul. So it falls in line with a lot of biblical principles, as well as other principles as far as enlightenment and getting in towards the lighter side of things. So yeah, do I want to do it again? Not really. I'm just so curious that I'm too damn stubborn, and I know that this is not something that's going to try to kill me or hurt me. This is something that's going to make me better. And maybe those demons and maybe that hell and maybe all that stuff was from within me. Maybe I thought I was going to go to hell. I don't know. but you'll discover that about yourself. You've got to discover your own journey, and you've got to follow your own path. And the thing about ayahuasca is it helps you discover whatever that path is. And without any pressure, without any judgment, you don't have to be ashamed of being who you are and feeling the way you feel. It's total acceptance and love. The music, man, I can't emphasize enough how strong it is, how the music brought me out of the hell that I was in. And this is why, one of the things why I said you have to be careful where you go, because if you go to a place to where it's just, like they don't give a shit and they're just there for the money, it's going to affect the energy. It's going to affect the energy. Because these shamans, it's almost like if you're going to a doctor and you're going under anesthesia and he's going to do heart surgery on you, your life is in his hands. And with ayahuasca, it's the same thing. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. So just be aware. So anyway, so I just want to share this experience with you. This is, of course, not everything. This is a big journey. I'll probably write a little bit more about it. And if you are interested in coming down to ayahuasca to do this in Colombia 2023, just reach out on the chat. I would like to put together a group of people from the United States. What it would entail is we would pick you up from the airport, bring you to a hotel where you stay in a hotel, get you ready, get you prepped for it, and then bring you out to the ayahuasca retreat, which would be 5 days long. We're probably thinking I'm rough guess to get probably $2,000. Okay, that includes your meals, includes traveling. Won't include the airfare, but it will include the chauffeur, transportation, all foods taken care of, anything like that, and also a follow-up day. So we'll probably put it for at least 1 week long. 1 day before for preparation, and 2 days afterwards to transition you to go back into the world. Because, like I said, it is a powerful experience. So anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free if you have any questions. Take care.